The moment the post appeared, something shifted online. Not with a bang or a wave of noise, but with a quiet pull that made people stop scrolling. Screens paused, comments slowed, then surged, and across platforms, the same question kept floating to the surface. What did Shivon just say, and why did it feel different this time? This was not a flashy announcement or a carefully staged reveal. It was simple on the surface, almost understated. And yet, the reaction was anything but. Fans leaned in, critics hesitated, and observers sensed that this was more than another social update passing through the feed. It carried weight, the kind that invites interpretation, reflection, and a surprising amount of emotion. What followed made the moment even more compelling. Elon responded, not with a lengthy statement or a dramatic gesture, but in a way that instantly amplified the conversation. The response did not settle the discussion, it deepened it, and suddenly a single post became a focal point for broader questions about privacy, leadership, and how personal moments ripple outward in the digital age. To understand why this resonated so strongly, it helps to slow down and look at the context. Shivon has long been known for her work rather than her public persona. She operates in spaces where precision, focus, and long-term thinking matter more than visibility. When someone like that chooses to share something publicly, even something seemingly modest, it tends to land with more significance. According to available information, the post was thoughtful in tone. It did not shout, it did not demand attention, it invited it. The language was reflective, careful, and open enough to allow readers to bring their own interpretations. Some saw confidence, others saw vulnerability. A few read it as a signal of transition, while others viewed it as simply a moment of honesty. Public speculation began almost immediately. Comment sections filled with supportive messages, thoughtful questions, and a fair amount of curiosity. Analysts and commentators started connecting dots, sometimes cautiously, sometimes enthusiastically. Yet through it all, there was a shared sense that this was a moment worth paying attention to, not because it was sensational, but because it felt genuine. Then came Elon's response. It arrived without fanfare, but it landed with impact. People noticed not just what was said, but how it was said. The tone was measured, the phrasing was deliberate. It did not attempt to redirect the spotlight or close down discussion. Instead, it acknowledged the moment in a way that suggested respect and awareness of its significance. Some reports suggest that this response was carefully considered, especially given how quickly public narratives can spiral. Elon is no stranger to online discourse, and his interactions often become stories in their own right. In this case, the response felt different, less reactive, more grounded. And that difference did not go unnoticed. As the conversation evolved, something interesting happened. The focus began to shift away from speculation and toward meaning. People started asking why this moment mattered to them personally. Why did a single post, followed by a brief reply, spark such a strong reaction? The answers varied, but a few themes kept resurfacing. There was the idea of authenticity. In a digital landscape often filled with polished messaging, moments that feel unscripted stand out. Viewers sense that this was not about managing an image, it was about sharing a perspective. That alone can be disarming. There was also the question of balance. Public figures live at the intersection of personal experience and collective expectation. Every statement is filtered through layers of interpretation. Watching someone navigate that space with care can be both instructive and reassuring. It reminds people that complexity does not disappear with visibility. Midway through the unfolding discussion, engagement spiked again. New viewers arrived, drawn by summaries, reactions, and thoughtful breakdowns. This was the secondary pull, the moment where those on the edge decided to stay and see where the story might lead. Not because there was a promise of drama, but because there was a sense of unfolding clarity. Observers began to note how the exchange reflected broader cultural shifts. There's a growing appetite for transparency paired with restraint. People want insight, but they also value boundaries. The way Shivon's post and Elon's response seemed to model that balance. It showed that acknowledgement does not require overexposure and that response does not need to dominate the narrative. Throughout this period, it became clear that no single interpretation could capture the full picture, and perhaps that was the point. The moment invited conversation rather than closure. It encouraged people to listen, reflect, and consider perspectives beyond their own. What made this especially compelling was the absence of escalation. In many online moments, attention feeds intensity. Here, attention seemed to encourage thoughtfulness. The dialogue remained largely respectful, with many voices emphasizing appreciation over judgment. That tone helped the moment endure rather than burn out. As time passed, the immediate buzz softened, but the impression lingered. This was not a viral spike destined to fade without a trace. It left behind questions worth revisiting. How do leaders communicate during moments of personal significance? How does the public engage without crossing into entitlement? And how can digital spaces support nuance instead of flattening it? Near the end of this arc, reflection replaced reaction. Viewers and readers began sharing what the moment meant to them personally. Some spoke about feeling seen. Others talked about learning the value of measured response. A few simply appreciated witnessing a public exchange that felt human. The lasting impression came from what was not explicitly stated, but from what was implied. There was care in the choices made, care in the words shared and the words left unsaid. That restraint can be powerful, especially in environments that reward immediacy. Looking back, it becomes clear why fans described being stunned, not because of shock, but because of recognition. Recognition of sincerity, recognition of growth, recognition that even in highly visible lives, moments of quiet intention can resonate deeply. And perhaps that's the real takeaway. Influence doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives softly, asks to be considered, and leaves behind a trail of thoughtful conversation. Shivon's post did that. Elon's response reinforced it. Together, they created a moment that invited people to pause and think. As this story continues to be discussed, it serves as a reminder that the most meaningful exchanges often resist easy summary. They ask us to slow down, to read carefully, and to engage with empathy. In a world moving at relentless speed, that invitation is worth accepting. Neuralink executive Shivon Zilis recently stunned fans by making a rare hand-in-hand public appearance with Elon Musk on February 1, 2026. The couple arrived together at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, for the high-profile wedding of White House Deputy Chief of Staff Dan Scavino and Aaron Elmore. Musk responded to the buzz by engaging with the event's high-energy atmosphere, waving to cameras while dressed in a black suit and a striking red cravat. Zilis complimented him in a shimmering light-colored gown and cream jacket. This appearance is particularly significant, as Zilis, the mother of 4 of Musk's children, rarely attends public social events by his side. Key highlights from the event and their recent interactions include public arrival. The pair's hand-in-hand arrival at the Mar-a-Lago estate was described by onlookers as a calm and grounded display of their relationship. Star-studded guest list. They joined other high-profile attendees, including Donald Trump, Nicki Minaj, and Amber Rose. Social media reactions. Fans on X and Instagram immediately began sharing photos of the couple, with many interpreting the rare outing as a sign of their relationship becoming more public. Family news. This appearance follows a year of increased openness. In 2025, Zilis used X to announce the birth of their 4th child together, a son named Selden Lycurgus, to which Musk responded with a heart emoji. Would you like more details on the recent legal developments regarding Musk's social media platform X that occurred shortly after this wedding? If this moment caught your attention or sparked a thought of your own, take a moment to share your perspective in the comments. Your insights add depth to the conversation. And if you found this breakdown valuable, show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Sharing it with others helps keep thoughtful discussions like this alive.